Alright, what is up everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, reporting in for another list build video. This time I'm going to be going over a few Shadow Collective lists that I've come up with. I was going to do an Imperial Remnant list, but the Legion Collective, the Legion HQ, has not necessarily come up with the Battle Force just yet. So, I'll talk a second about kind of the things I'm excited for and the things that you can do, and yeah, just briefly, but I'll save that for another time. This time I wanted to go over mostly the Shadow Collective again, and just a thematic list, a list I used, a list I thought about using that would be fun, and then kind of my version of a list that was at LVO, and kind of give you my thoughts about it. So first off, let's go ahead and head to my Patreon channel, Clan of Shadows, all the way up here, and become a patron. Go ahead and start donating each month for me to be able to grow this channel, to be able to grow this little thing I've got going on. Hopefully trying to get some campaign mode stuff. Now I saw the new Kill Team style play test thing that just came out through AMG, and it looks exciting. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully it doesn't necessarily replace Skirmish, because I think that Skirmish is a lot of fun, but I think it'll bring a little bit more of a very unique way of playing with your Legion miniatures. And yeah, it says that, you're going to need miniatures from AMG or whatever, but if you had, I'm sure, stuff that you've printed out from either Darkfire Designs or all those other places that 3D print their own or create their own 3D printed minis, I think that would be actually pretty fun to go with as well. But yeah, go ahead and head to the Clan of Shadows. You will see my battle report on there first, so that all of the patrons can get to see it first. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and go to the Discord and just go ahead and join it. That's free and that's easy to use, or easy to do and use. But yeah, go ahead and join the chat. Emperor Atlantis has definitely come in handy, and Anthony has definitely, been fantastic on the channel, on the Discord. I'm very, very, very appreciative of them and what they do, and I'm very appreciative of everyone who continues, especially, Zvezda. I'm very appreciative of everyone who's posting on here, and thank you so much for making this Discord channel great and fun to watch and listen to. And I'm keeping track of everything. I'm not able to respond all the time, because going between the pilot stuff that I'm doing and the personal training and then the online training and then doing stuff for here, I very much want to keep seeing you guys talk about stuff. So go ahead, head there and keep talking. And if you haven't already, go ahead and head to theburnacademy.com for $15 a month and subscribe. That way it gets you your 3, 4, 5, and 6 day week workout plans that are all 3 months long. That way you have something to do for a long time. It gives you corrective exercise program in case you've ever had any shoulder or back or hip issues or knee issues, kind of to help you get back into some strength. And then if you're short on time, 30-minute programs, at-home workouts, abs and core, 120 different recipes, ways to track your progress. If you are in the gym or you have never been to the gym, this is a great way to get started. And it's great to, talk about form on here and add some stuff every now and then to it. So it keeps you guys accountable and it keeps you guys going. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get over here to show you guys what I've come up with. So I've come up with a 9-act list, thematic list, I should say, with Maul using the Darksaber, because obviously in Season 7, Maul's using the Darksaber to fight Ahsoka. So I just figured, while they're on Mandalore, this is kind of more of a Mandalore fighting army. And it's got Force Push, Burst of Speed, because, just in case he needs to get in there fast, then that I think is the way to go. And then Into the Fray to be able to get those Surge tokens for defense and or offense, but mostly for defense, because the Darksaber is going to give you Surge to crit and Cunning, and you're going to keep Pierce 2 and Impact 2. So, yeah, I think, using Into the Fray for defense is perfect. Now, if you don't do Darksaber, that's fine, but just for thematic purposes, that's why I put it on there. I've got Gar Saxon, so with situational awareness and up close and personal, mostly to keep him going as an up close not melee unit, but a close range fighter. And I've given him his jetpack rockets mostly for blast. It's going to have blast, impact. You don't have any, anti-armor stuff in here except that, and it cycles. So I figured that would be perfect to have. And with the new covers, the cover rules, I think blast is kind of important to have at this point. And, being able to gain a dodge and then use it to cancel crits is a fantastic thing. And then you're going to gain, your shield back. So it's going to be harder to kill him every now and then. And so that makes him a great objective person. Then I've got 2 Mandalorian commandos, one with Rook and then one with just a generic guy to be able to get those 2 surge tokens. You can use at any point in time. Sadly, I don't have the rockets on here. And just a side note, the rockets that only show 4 is actually range 1 to 4. So that was an amazing buff that the Mandalorian Super Commandos just got. And it's making them way, way better. So that's cool. And it's got Blast, Critical 1, and Impact. So their rockets just became way, way better. It's just I couldn't fit them in. And so if you can, or you can, you want to drop the Darksaber, and maybe if there's something else that you wanted to drop, you could, to be able to save room and make room for one of them to have the rockets, then that would be perfect. But then I've also just got 2 capos that are naked, and then 3 units of pike foot soldiers that are naked. And yeah, so the command cards that I have this time for it are Witch Magic, to be able to get Maul those 2 extra wounds healed off because you don't have a medic. And then because of Burst of Speed, this is also going to be coming in handy because you're going to be able to remove the Immobilize token that you've got after using it. So maybe one turn you use Burst of Speed to move speed 3, do an attack, and maybe you've wound up being able to get a unit kind of into melee with you. And then maybe the next turn you use Witch Magic. You're able to heal 2 wounds just in case you wound up getting them. You're able to remove the Immobilize token that you got from Burst of Speed, and then you could maybe force push out of melee and or closer to everyone else, and then you move normally into someone else, and then you start to melee them. So that's a good way of, being able to use Maul to get in. And then March for Elimination, maybe you can use that one before Maul gets to them, because they're going to gain 4 observation tokens and 2 suppression tokens on a commander or operative, which is probably what you're using Maul to go after. And then you can use the observation tokens to re-roll instead of having to take an aim. That way you have Maul just kind of go in and then take a dodge, move, and then wreck. Okay, and then I have the other command cards mostly to be able to give it to Maul and or Gar Saxon, and then Fight Another Day and Victory or Death to be able to give Gar Saxon and those Mandalorian Super Commandos orders to get those dodges, which they can use to cancel crits, and then either give them the extra dodge or aim, depending on which one you're using. And then, Seize with Power We Can is great when Maul is in the thick of things, to be able to use the tokens that your opponent uses and put them on this card for your Mandos to use, or for your pikes to use in case they need to do anything. But yeah, and then, breakthrough, key positions, recover, and hostage. Hostage and recover and breakthrough are great with the amount of speed 3 units you have, and with Maul being able to have burst of speed and force push. And then key positions and hostage, again, is really good with force push. Danger close, disarray, hemmed in, and advanced, mostly because you've got Maul and really quick units. And then limited viz, because you want to protect Maul and your units as much as possible, because they're up to range 3, really. So, yeah, there's that list. It's 9 activations. I think it would be pretty cool to use because it's kind of thematic in a way, so you can kind of recreate, Season 7. Now, I've got a list that seemed like it'd be a lot of fun to use, and you've got Maul, again with Force Choke this time, Force Push, and Into the Fray to be able to get those Surge tokens when he needs it, because you don't have the Darksaber on here this time. You're going to need those Surge tokens for either offense or defense, and so that's nice to have. And then you've got Force Choke as kind of like a ranged attack. And then you will eventually have your Witch Magic to be able to recover Force Push and Force Choke, which you'll probably need to do. I've got the AA5 Speeder Truck to be able to transport Maul, mostly, because you're going to have the Gonk Droid to be able to provide the shield tokens. And then you're going to be able to have the Medic to heal Maul when he needs it, and possibly have to give him a suppression token, but it doesn't matter. You got Courage 3. Or you can use the medic to heal Cad or Bosk, especially whenever they hopefully claim their bounty. You can hopefully still have the AA5 truck to heal them up. And then with Bosk, I've given him his normal hunter and targeting scopes. With Cad Bane, I've given up close and personal situational awareness because of the amount of dodges he usually has. Emergency transponder to be able to give him that extra dodge or remove a suppression token or give him the aim if he needs to whenever he didn't get in order. And then Electro Gauntlets in case he's in melee and he desperately needs to get out or at least, save himself. And I feel like Cad Bane is going to hopefully distract a lot from the AA5 Maul bus. So your Maul bus can actually get in there and do some damage. Because they're going to be probably splitting fire between Cad Bane and this truck. And then you're going to be able to use Bosk to just go ham at long range and just dish out some suppression. Then I've given the Pike Capo just a single Pike Capo. And then your Pike Foot soldiers, I gave all the Electro Whip soldiers so that you've got kind of like a full unit. And they're going to be much better in melee with at least 2 red. Because you don't surge to offense, and they're each going to have 2 white dice each. And so, hopefully, if none of them have died, you're going to have 10 dice in melee, but you don't surge, and it's going to be 8 white. So, not quite the best. Now, for, the command cards, I basically did Witch Magic, I'm Your Worst Nightmare, because if you're going to try to flank with Cad and put him on the side and or in a threatening position to your opponent while you're trying to get the AA5 in, being able to have Uncanny Luck and or being able to perform 2 attack actions will be very, very beneficial for moving Cad Bane either in or out of the thick of things because, Electro Gauntlets will also be good. Because maybe with I'm Your Worst Nightmare, if you're stuck in melee, you do Electro Gauntlets. Hopefully you did a hit so that you can disengage. Because with Electro Gauntlets, if your person has an immobilized token, you can perform moves while engaged to a unit that has one or more immobilized tokens. So you can basically just disengage and do that move, like a normal move action, and then that would trigger steady, and then you could do another shoot action or another attack action. So yeah, there's lots of ways to be able to use that, and I think that one would be better than Maul's 1 pip necessarily at the moment, because when Maul's in the thick of things, you probably want to go with Seize with Power We Can. Now I did Reptilian Rampage again because that gives him 2 attack actions, and then with his Eminence, that's just to be able to prevent your army or whoever's close to Maul from being panicked. And if he is in the bus, you can use the base of the bus to measure your range 1. So that's what's nice about having Maul in the bus and being able to use that one. Alright, so now this is the list I used the other day, and I wound up winning, and I thought that this was such a great list to be able to use. There's a few things I would do differently. Now, I had a Pike Capo with Vigilance and Improvised Orders. What I might have done was change Vigilance for Improvised Orders, because I never wound up using that dodge. You might wind up using that dodge in other scenarios, so it's kind of up to you. I had Force Push, Force Choken into the fray on Maul. Maybe having the Dark Saber would have been great for those surging to crits. But into the fray, and his other card of his Seize with Power We Can with those surge tokens. You don't necessarily have to have the Dark Saber on him. Then I went with the Mandalorian Super Commandos with Rook, Situational Awareness, the Shields, and the Jetpack Rockets. And like I said, the Jetpack Rockets are range 1 to 4 and really came in handy with the Critical 1 and Blast. Then the Speeder Truck I had with the Frenzied Gunner, Backworld Medic, Refurbished, Gonk Droid, and the Heavy Laser Retrofit. Mostly the Frenzied Gunner and the Heavy Laser Retrofit. It comes out to 21 points, which is still cheaper than the Quad Laser. And it's a farther range, and then you still get Critical 1. So it's at least giving you a surge to crit for one of them rather than just relying on hits for that impact. So yeah, I'd rather just go with the Retrofit, and it's cheaper to add that extra dice for 5 points. And then the Refurbished Gonk Droid to be able to just make sure they've got the shields to protect them a little bit more because the Medic is on there. And then the Medic being able to heal a Super Commando is really, really, really helpful, because these guys are expensive. So being able to use one of the Medic's actions to heal a Commando is worth it. Then I had 2 disruptors, pike foot soldier units, and then 2 electro whip soldier units. And yeah, they did a really good job, especially combined with the capo being able to hand out those aims and or dodges. So yeah, I highly suggest a list like this. And there was actually one very, very similar at LVO, and I did a few changes myself. Now I did Maul again with the same way, with force push, force choke into the fray, 2 pike capos with improvised orders, which is what I was hoping to do, 2 with the electro soldier 2 units, and then 3 units with the PE-13M disruptor, the bus with the backworld medic and the gong droid, again mostly to heal anyone that you need. And then the Black Sun enforcers were on the bus with, the MacDet enforcer, the Black Sun Vigo, targeting scopes, and the frag grenades. Because what you can do is have the Black Sun Vigo throw the frag grenade, giving you the red dice and surge to crit in the entire dice pool, and then the MacDet enforcer is 3 black, so you're already rolling a red and 3 black surging to crit at range 1. And then maybe you shoot with the Black Sun enforcers, who the whole rest of the unit would have 4 more black, so you technically have, what is that? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 black, 4 white, and then a red. So with targeting scopes, and if you were to take that aim, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Also because they've got precise 1 already, so you'd have precise 2. Really, really nice to have. And then again, Duel of Fates on this one. Witch Magic, Aggression, His Eminence, Siege with Power, and Discretion, kind of like your generic stuff. Mostly because you're going to be trying to give your orders to Maul anyway, and or the bus. So that way you can kind of move the Black Sun enforcers, and you can keep Maul behind the bus, because again, the bus is going to completely block your line of sight. So they wouldn't be able to technically see Maul, so you can just keep Maul hidden the entire time. That makes a good case for vigilance on Maul to be able to, move, dodge, and stay hidden. But that's, it's just kind of up to you if you want to sacrifice a few points somewhere else to be able to put vigilance on Maul. And it's just 12 points. So maybe what you would do is just, there you go, boom. Maybe give yourself 3 electro whip soldiers there, and then give yourself vigilance. And yeah, you've got extra 3 points to use with whatever you want. And there's not really anything 3 points worth it, but yeah. And then key positions, recover, hostage, and intercept, mostly because you've got a ton of trooper units. And again, you can use the AA5 to block line of sight and keep healing, and then use the reverse gong droid for at the end of the round, trying to roll to get those shields back. And then key positions and recover and hostage are going to be great with Maul. And then danger close, hemmed in, roll out, and advanced positions are going to keep your opponent on probably the defense while you're trying to get in and go ham with that speeder truck. Same with the other one that I had with between either Maul and CAD, or, just the one I had the other day where you're, got Maul in the truck and you've just got the Mandos behind there getting healed and or shooting. So, yeah. All right, well, that is really it, guys. Maybe on another time I'll be able to go over a lot of the Imperial Remnant Force, because, being able to put a sniper with the Death Troopers would be cool, because the sniper is going to gain a red defense dice to surge. Being able to put, again, maybe more snipers with the scouts, and or at least maybe the DLT-19 with the scouts, and then, the short trooper, the T-21B could probably go really well with the scout troopers or the stormtroopers, because with the stormtroopers, if you gave the T-21B in there, you'd have critical 1, range 1 to 4, and you'd have precise 1 already naturally. So if you were to take that aim and shoot, then you'd be able to reroll 3 of those. But yeah, that's a whole nother time. So yeah, go ahead and head to Clan of Shadows. Go ahead and subscribe down below to the YouTube channel. Head to the Discord and go ahead and, join in. It's really nice to be able to see everybody. And then head over to theburnacademy.com and subscribe for $15 a month to be able to get those things in the app, the 3, 4, 5, 6 day week workout plans in the app. And then, if you've always got something to do in the gym. All right. So this week I said I would announce the winner of the $20 Amazon gift card. So I want to go ahead and congratulate Jane. And I want to go ahead and, ask them to just message me on Discord. Head there now and, go ahead and give me a message. Let's see. Yeah, just head to the Discord, send me a message, and I will figure out the details to go ahead and send that to you. And then I also wanted to go ahead and shout out the people on Patreon, and thank you so much, Anthony and Kitsune, for your donations. It means a lot, and I'm very much appreciative of it. But alright, guys, thank you so much for everything you've done, and I will see you guys in another video. Y'all take it easy.